In this video, I will show you how to find all of the mixed biome fruits and find the fruits on Roblox. This is easily the most challenging type of fruit to find. This first fruit will lead us to a special area, the mountain. The mountain is special like the factory because you cannot teleport there, you have to go through another area to reach it. We will go through the mines and take this left turn into this tall shaft with minecarts running through it. Going through this hole will take us to the top of the mountain, which is seen in the phantom forest. Here, we can get a few fruits easily and some more later on. We will grab mountain berry, white strawberry, and climber banana. Typically, a mixed biome fruit is considered mixed because you need to use a tool from another area. However, these three fruits are special because the only thing making them mixed is the method of reaching their biome. Although the factory fruits are not considered mixed, a strange continuity error. Anyways, next we will obtain Zomberry. To obtain Zomberry, we have to go to the underground biome to grab the shovel. The shovel is a tool used to obtain several mixed biome fruits. After grabbing the shovel, we want to go to the graveyard in the phantom forest and dig up a specific grave, close to Monstera. The next fruit we can find is phantom pear. This is a fruit which we will have to wait for. But to initiate the timer, we have to interact with this pedestal in the phantom forest graveyard. Then, we will have to talk to Pear. Pear will tell us that we need to fetch a candle from the grasslands. Talking to Blueberry, we will learn that the candle has been stolen. But, we know exactly where it is. We will have to grab the hammer from Banana's house and break down the boards on the abandoned house. There we can grab the candle and place it on the pedestal. While we wait, let's get a few fruits. We'll teleport to Fruit Market where we need to find fertilizer. After picking it up, talk to Cashier Apple and select the same dialogue choices as I do. Once you buy it, teleport over to the desert and jump down to the left oasis. There we will find a growing banana and are able to apply the fertilizer to find banana bunch. Now we can quickly teleport to Sub-Zero Glacier and grab these night vision goggles. They're useful for two mixed biome fruits. Now, just before the candle finishes, let's look for Night Vision Apple in the Phantom Forest. Night Vision Apple can be elusive, as it's off in the far right corner of the biome. It took me a bit to find it, but look in the same R as me and you'll surely see it. Once we find it, we can just teleport back to Phantom Forest and check up on our candle. A neat animation will play and we can successfully find phantom pear. Now we can utilize the fertilizer we purchased earlier again and find triple cherry. Cherry is just outside of the store at the grasslands, and using the fertilizer will allow us to find triple cherry. Mushroom is a pretty interesting fruit. Personally, I think it's a misplaced fruit in terms of difficulty. I'll explain why later. First off, we have to teleport to the desert where we will talk to scientist Tangerine. Following my dialogue choices, you're able to take up to 3 quests from scientist Tangerine. We will select the Mold Shrooms quest. This is by far the hardest of the 3 quests. To complete it, we will have to find a tiny little indistinguishable mushroom in the Phantom Forest. Even seeing where it is in the video, it could still be hard to replicate exactly where it is. But, as long as you search along the outer edge of the graveyard, you'll find it eventually underneath a pine tree. Good luck! That was only the first part though, as we will have to head back to the desert and give scientist Tangerine the mold shroom. Scientist Tangerine will then create a fungi incense, which we will use to track down Zombie. We will go back to the Phantom Forest and reach this spot in between the factory entrance and the abandoned cabin. It can be hard to spot, but look in the trees. Once we interact with it, we will have to ask NPCs to find out where Zombie went, but we know to talk to Granny Smith. She will tell us that Zombie went towards the fruit market. Going there, we can talk to Cashier Apple, who will tell us that Zombie came in and went towards the desert. However, we can skip going there and go straight to Sub-Zero Glacier, where we will find Zombie finally. You may be thinking, haven't we been looking for mushroom? That would be correct. In order to find mushroom, we have to finish Zombie's quest fully. Although Zombie is an insane difficulty, mushroom is considered hard even though you have to do an extra step above what's required for Zombie. Anyways, mushroom is found under the giant mushrooms in the Phantom Forest. That one was a doozy. Now, we will find electric blueberry. This one introduces a key mechanic to find a few other fruits. We will enter the factory via the Phantom Forest. Once we enter, we want to turn into this large storage room and open this box, which we will get wires out of. Using these wires at the island generator in the grasslands, we can activate the island generator. The island generator will generate these platforms which we can perform an obby in. After finding electric blueberry, we can find snowberry. Teleporting to Sub-Zero Glacier, we can dig up this pile of snow to the right of the spawn using the shovel.
Next up is Sewage Lemon. You can access the sewers by going to the back of the fruit market and jumping in a way that you go inwards while falling. In the sewers, we can use the hammer from Banana's house in the grasslands to tear down these boards. This next fruit, Unripe banana, requires us to find the pliers from the greenhouse to the right of the fruit market. We can find them next to this bush. Unripe banana is found in the cave in the Phantom Forest. Doing a bit of parkour and then using the pliers on these vines will allow us to get to them. Glassberry has one of my favorite obtainment methods, where we need to use the hammer to break every single window on the map. The first window we can get is Granny Smith's window in the Phantom Forest. Then, the two regular cabins and the store in the grasslands. Throughout the video, you may have noticed that I've been collecting fruits I should have had already. It's because I had to reset my data. I already had this video recorded but lost the footage and had to wipe my data to properly show how to obtain the mixed fruits. Whoops. Anyways, the last two windows we have to break is in the Sub-Zero Glacier. Skip the gingerbread house, like I clearly did, and go to this cabin. Then, the last window is by the Fiat Snowman. Breaking all of these windows will teleport us, and we can find Glassberry. Frozen lime is surprisingly the first fruit to require us to find the pickaxe. Going to the underground, we can use the shovel to dig out the collapse and go through this tunnel to find the pickaxe. Then, we can teleport to Sub-Zero Glacier and go to this giant crystal where we can mine out frozen lime. Then, to get Bornana, we will have to accept the DNA Combiner quest from scientist Tangerine in the desert. To complete this quest, we will go to the grasslands and find orange and banana and use our DNA grabber on them. Now, we can use the DNA combiner machine in the lab to rhyme orange and banana and find Bornana. The next fruit is less of a fruit, and is part of the material series, limestone. At first, I thought that limestone would be in this cavity here, but this is where limestone dust, a recent Easter update edition is. Limestone is actually inside of medium pear's area. By completing a dance clip by being flush against the wall, slashy dancing and shift locking when your character comes to the right, you can clip through. Now going through this narrow tunnel, we can destroy this limestone barrier and successfully find limestone. The next fruit is night pear. We will teleport to the mines and go up to the mountain. To find night pear, you have to complete a misleadingly short and simple obby. Some of the stars will be solid, but most are not physical. I had various failures until I just jump over several stars at a time. Skill issue, I guess. The next one is quite easy for being an insane difficulty fruit, I mean think back to Zombie. Obsidian tangerine requires us to get the water bucket from fruit market. First, we have to go to the dumpsters behind the fruit market and grab the manager's office key. Going to the second floor, we can enter the office and grab another key off the shelf. That key will let us access the janitor's closet in the back room behind the counter. There we can grab the water bucket. We got lucky and also found enderberry in the janitor's closet. Enderberry can appear in a few locations across the map from time to time. A few that come to mind are here, the lava pool island in the desert, which we'll go to, and by a tree in the grasslands visits island. Continuing on, we teleport to the desert where we do a tiny obby and interact with this lava pool. Doing so will allow us to find obsidian tangerine. The next is acidic pear, the last time we will have to talk to scientist tangerine. We will go to the lab and talk to scientist tangerine to claim the acid quest. First we grab the helium tank from the table behind Scientist Tangerine. Then, we will go to the sky biome in the desert by climbing up this hill. The oxygen tank will be next to the rainbow lake. Lastly, we will teleport to the mines to get sulfur. We can mine an ore vein in the radiation mines. Now, we go back to the lab in the desert and combine the ingredients in this cauldron-esque thing and can find acidic pear. Next up, we will find Pipework pineapple. We will first travel to the Phantom Forest and enter the factory.
Near the entrance, we will find a board that says pipe plan. This will tell us crucial information. After confirming what we have to do by identifying which colors match which numbers, we can go to the sewer at the back of the fruit market. In the sewer, you will find several numbered pipes. You must match the numbered pipes to the information we saw on the board in the factory. You may or may not need to tear down the boards if you had not already. Once you finish, Pipework pineapple will be obtainable in the main room. Ambery can be found in the underground. By going into the main underground area after clearing out the collapse, you can mine through this flat wall right by the entrance. However, to actually get the fruit, you will have to collect the crystallite pickaxe in the mines. Follow my pathing through the radiation and you will surely find it. Now we can go back to the underground and mine the crystal hiding Ambery. Electric apple is our next fruit. Similar to phantom pear, it will activate a timer that we have to wait for before continuing. We will teleport to the mines and enter the mountain. You will interact with this panel here. While we wait, we can collect a few fruits quickly. To get zapped orange, we have to talk to orange in the grasslands behind the abandoned cabin. Doing so will make orange run to the island generator, an unfortunate spot. Activating the generator will end up electrocuting orange, temporarily turning them into zapped orange. How sad. We can do a few jumps to claim zapped orange. Next, we will try to find Honeycrisp apple. Honeycrisp apple is found outside of the fruit market, by the entrance. We have to complete 4 mini quests to be able to find them. Before we can begin any of the quests, we have to find a jar of honey in the fruit market, which took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to find. It's found on the 2nd floor in this barrenly filled shelf. Yikes. Now, we can begin one of the 4 quests. We'll start with finding the honeybees. We can find the hive and collect them by the apple tree of the grasslands. Then we will go back to Honeycrisp apple and begin the albino bees quest. The albino beehive is found by the giant snowman of Sub-Zero Glacier.
The next quest we will complete is for cobalt bees. Their hive is found in the rapids biome found in the right oasis of the desert. Lastly, we will find the crimson bees. They are found in the middle oasis of the desert. Once we find all of the bees, a unique graphic will appear and we can collect Honeycrisp apple. Finally, we can continue finding Electric apple. We will go back up to the mountain through the mines and interact with this unstable energy. Doing so will send a notification that the factory needs help. When we enter the factory, we will see that the generator has broken. We have to find a hidden button to reactivate it. The button is behind this pile of boxes in the corner. After reactivating the generator, we can go up to the mountain once again to find Electric apple. Now, for easily the most elusive fruit in the whole game, Ethereal Apple. I challenge you to try to figure this one out on your own, but I'll show you anyway. To start, make sure you have both the night vision goggles and the water bucket. You will go to the Wildfire Island to the left of Phantom Forest. Here, you will put out the fire from right to left. Each fire requires you to interact with it twice. Now for the fun part, you will stand on top of Chili and paste 4 messages. One of them, being the Latin written on Ethereal Apple's island with and without a period. The other, being that Latin phrase translated into English, again, with and without a period. Now, does this make any sense? No. Is this the actual obtainment method? Probably not. But, does it work? Yep. I will leave the messages in the description. Now, you'll travel to the back of the Phantom Forest, just past the dock where you'll find a night vision obby made out of orbs. This obby is extremely difficult, but practice makes perfect, you will make it with effort. Sometimes, if you spam the teleport on Phantom Forest while falling you can get lucky and spawn right by the dock. Anyways, after finishing the obby, you can cross your fingers and hope that Ethereal Apple is there. This fruit took literal weeks on end only finding this fruit. The obtainment method doesn't really make any sense, but it has proven to work for me many times. Good luck. Now, we'll get legendary banana. To find them, you're supposed to find 5 buttons hidden around Phantom Forest and the mountain, but it's a bit broken.
We will first push this button on the cabin's chimney. Then, we'll grab this one behind this factory sign. Next we can push this one underneath the dock. It can be tricky, but keep at it and try to hit it by turning. While we go up to the mountain, I'll explain why it's broken. That last button we pressed for some reason makes the fourth button think we've pressed it, while we haven't. It becomes uninteractable. But, we're able to cheese the obtainment a little bit. After pressing this button on the panel, we can get past not having been able to press the other button by climbing up the peak of the mountain and jumping onto the obby from there. Even though we are skipping a portion of the obby itself is quite challenging. Just keep trying and you'll find it for sure. For the next fruit, you're supposed to be able to get it with a 1/100 chance upon respawn, but I wasn't so lucky. I tried for what felt like forever and didn't get my teleport. When you try to replicate this, be careful not to respawn when you actually make it into Apple's room. Good luck to you. The very last legendary fruit we'll have to find is blue java banana. This one can prove to be very difficult. To find this, you need to bring the shovel to Sub-Zero Glacier and go to the far right corner of the spawn. Then, you'll dig up this pile of snow to uncover a tunnel. You'll be teleported to an extremely difficult ice obby. I like to do this in first person. For this first tightrope part, you'll want to be walking. In the 1x1 section I like to sprint. This obby is extremely hard, so just be patient and try your best. Now, we'll do the first mythic fruit, meteorite berry. We'll teleport to the mines and go towards the amethyst mine by taking a right here. Once we reach the end of this area, we can find a button behind this rock. For the next button, we will go to Phantom Forest and look for this tree in the graveyard. You might need to shimmy around a bit while on top of the tree to hit it. The last button we need to hit is in the underground biome. By going through the right tunnel and climbing up and then jump out from here, you can hit it on the roof. After hitting all 3 buttons, you can go to the desert, where you'll find a smoking meteorite by the mine cart. In this room, you can claim a key. Using the key, we will go into the mines and travel to the amethyst area. There, we will come across a large meteorite door and can open it. Opening it will reveal a meteorite which will teleport us to an obby.
Make sure to sprint jump across this tiny tightrope here. When you get to this part, don't even worry about the spinning damage brick, as it does minuscule damage. Be patient on the spinny bit and wait for the correct timing. The rest of the obby just makes you go fast. Keep at it and you'll be able to find meteorite berry. This next fruit can be quite challenging. To start finding single cherry, we will have to activate the island generator at the grasslands and quickly teleport to the fruit market. There, we will run to the greenhouse and do a few jumps on these platforms. Talking to single cherry and following the same dialogue choices as me will open up a portal. In this portal, we will find a speedrun-esque obby. You can run through the obby a few times, but when you want to make an attempt, go up this ladder in the first section and press this button. Pressing the button activates a 60-second timer which makes the last section possible. Try to go as fast as possible in the first 2 sections to allow yourself ample time in the last. A cool time-saving trick you can perform in the second section is jumping on top of these moving platforms and following it up by jumping along the wall. Try to learn the timing there. The last section can be very tricky, but practice makes perfect. You got it. The very last mixed fruit, Mythic strawberry, is the most recent addition to the mythical difficulty fruits. We will start in the grasslands by talking to Easy Apple and pressing on the crystal it spawns. Then, we will teleport to the desert. Make sure you have the water bucket. We will perform a dance clip inside of this hidden room. Once inside, we can interact with medium pear and grab its crystal. Then, we will complete Hardberry's crystal by collecting 3 sets of bricks. The first one we'll grab is in Sub-Zero Glacier. By climbing up this red factory, we can find a pile of bricks. Then, we'll grab the bricks at the grasslands, behind this big visits tree. The last pile of bricks is actually at Hardberry's obby. By jumping down to it behind the fruit market, we can easily claim them. Once we have all 3 bricks, we can complete the obby and give them all to Hardberry and grab its crystal. To claim Insane Blueberry's crystal, we have to complete the gallery maze. Follow the same path I do, and you'll find it in no time. The crystal is hidden on the 3rd layer in the top corner on the other side of a wall as Insane Blueberry. It's pretty hidden, so keep your eyes peeled. The last crystal we will need is from legendary Banana. Fortunately, it's quite simple. go up to the mountain via the mines and ensure you have the wires still. By interacting with this broken wiring, we can spawn the crystal. Now, we will get a notification that something unusual has happened. We can teleport to the mines and follow this path to where that purple barrier typically is. However, the crystals we've collected have opened up the barrier and we can go through. We can go through this big hallway, which hints at there being a mysterious 7th difficulty on the walls. Finally, we can claim the last mixed fruit, Mythic strawberry. This is unreal. Now we've found all of the mixed biome fruits. Good job.